Good morning, everyone. Today is Memorial Day. And in America, unfortunately, Memorial Day is about sales, a day of vacation, barbecues. Unlike in Israel, where Memorial Day is a day where there's a moment of silence, people go to the cemeteries and pray. And the reason is quite obvious, because in Israel, you see your soldiers on the street all the time. Furthermore, everyone is drafted to the army, so everyone has family members in the army. And unfortunately, many people have family members who died in the army. So there's a deeper and a greater appreciation for our soldiers. But unfortunately, in America, we don't see our soldiers on the streets of Palm Beach or any other cities. Maybe in the airport, you run into some soldiers traveling. And most of us don't have family members in the army. So we take it for granted. And furthermore, our soldiers are not local. They're fighting in countries overseas, far away from us. And therefore, we don't appreciate the gift and the sacrifice that these brave soldiers made. But the truth is, today is a day to really show appreciation and gratitude, because freedom is not free. We have our freedoms. And as Jews, freedom of religion, because we have brave, wonderful soldiers that sacrifice their lives and go and defend us on all ends of the earth. In this week's Torah portion, it talks about the blessing of peace, the ultimate blessing. I will grant peace in the land. But then the Torah talks about when there will not be peace, God forbid. And the Torah says, your enemies will pursue you, and you will flee, and no one is chasing you. And what the Torah is describing is the tragedy of war. That not only do your enemies pursue you and, God forbid, kill you, but even when they're not pursuing you, you're still running from them because you're living in constant fear and trauma. And this is something, unfortunately, we see in Israel after October 7th. There's so much pain and fear and trauma because of the events of October 7th. There's no peace of mind. Last week, we were fortunate and privileged to bring 4 families from Kibbutz Be'eri to Palm Beach to get a little respite, to get a little break. And we took them last Monday to Disney World to give them a vacation. And we booked the bus to leave 7 a.m. and come back late at night after the big parade and the fireworks at the end of the day. But then when the families heard we're taking them and staying for the fireworks, they said, no, please, we need to leave the park before the fireworks. Because our children, if they hear fireworks, it's going to take them back to October 7th when they were hiding in the shelters for 15, 16, 17, 18 hours hearing gunshots. They'll be traumatized. And so the greatest blessing is when we can live in peace without enemies and we have no fear, no trauma, and live in inner peace and tranquility as well. Today we honor every American soldier, but there's one particular soldier that we honor today. You see, in Yad Vashem, Israel's Holocaust Museum in Jerusalem, there's a garden outside called the Garden of the Righteous Gentiles of the World, where there are close to 30,000 trees planted for close to 30,000 righteous Gentiles from countries all over the world who rescued Jews during the Holocaust, who hid Jews. The same people who are standing up with the Jewish people today. Those were the types of people who stood up back then. There's always righteous Gentiles. But there's 5 Americans that are honored in this righteous Gentiles and 1 American soldier. And his name is Major Sergeant Rabbi Edmonds. He was from Knoxville, Tennessee. And he flew over to Europe to fight the Nazis. And he was captured as a POW and taken to a POW camp in Germany. And he was put in charge of all the other POWs. And the Germans would single out the Jews amongst the POWs and take them for extermination. And so they sent a message to him that they're coming tomorrow and he should have all the Jews lined up to be taken out. And Rabbi Edmonds, Major Sergeant, told all of the American soldiers to line up in front of their barracks. When the Germans arrived, they looked at all the soldiers standing there and they said, they can't all be Jews. And he said to them, today we are all Jews. And the Nazi walked over to Rabbi Edmonds, put his pistol to his temple, towards his head, and said, tell me who the Jews are. And Rabbi Edmonds, Major Sergeant, said, according to the Geneva Convention, we only have to tell you our names, our rank, and our serial number. If you're going to kill me, you're going to have to kill everybody. And after the war, you will be tried for crimes, war crimes. The Nazi put down his pistol and left. And that day, Major Sergeant Rabbi Edmonds saved all the Jewish POWs. That is bravery, that is courage, that is self-sacrifice. That is a righteous Gentile. In a day and age when we see so much anti-Semitism, we need to be inspired by the story of Rabbi Edmonds and stand up. Everyone has to stand up and defend innocent life. And we honor each and every soldier that fought, and especially those who gave their lives and made the ultimate sacrifice for our country, for the blessed United States of America, so we can all live in freedom.